Guys, we are just few hours away, this Week 12 matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. And honestly, this is a massive game for us. We're sitting at 4-5-1 right now. If we lose this game, the season is basically over for all intents and purposes. Sure, you still have to get through the rest of your schedule, but there's no realistic chance of making the playoffs at that point. But if we win it and we're 5-5-1 with a win over the Eagles, suddenly we're right back in the thick of things. What's up, Cowboys? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Cowboys. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the America's team. Honestly, it feels like the Eagles are kind of a ticking time bomb right now. You know, if we play this right and we win this game and certain people get frustrated enough, it feels like that locker room could explode pretty soon. Despite having some impressive wins these last few weeks against some good teams on paper, they haven't always been impressive during those wins. They've had some pretty crazy boneheaded mistakes made by their coaches at the end of games that they've just survived through. There's certainly a path where the Eagles go on and make the playoffs as the #1 seed and end up in the Super Bowl again. That path absolutely exists. But there's also a path where the Cowboys are uniquely suited to win this game potentially, and by doing so, push the Eagles over the edge and they start the collapse that we desperately need in order to somehow make our way into the playoffs. There's even a chance that happens and it doesn't affect the division at all, and Philadelphia still wins the division. But it sends them into some turmoil, which, hey, that's the second best thing if the Cowboys aren't going to make the playoffs themselves. So let's talk about how the Cowboys can actually pull this off. And I want to start with our offense. Back in Week 1, when these two teams faced each other, our offense went right up and down the field in the first 2 drives of the game, but in the second half, it was very clunky. The offense didn't score at all in the second half, if I remember correctly. Now, the Eagles didn't have Jalen Carter in that game. They've added Jaylen Phillips since then. So how do the Cowboys score on offense against this really good Philadelphia defense? I think we need to find a way to continue being a balanced football team, because if we try to come out and just throw the football, or if we get into a negative game script where the Eagles know we're going to be throwing the ball, that's when we're going to run into some serious trouble. Because Jalen Carter and these guys inside, they'll be able to pin their ears back and come after us. We've got to find a way to play a more balanced game, and I think we have the run game and the bodies to physically do that in a unique way that maybe not every team does. This is really going to be a legacy game for this iteration of our offensive line. This is the time for it all to come together. We've invested quite a bit in this group, and we're going against an elite defensive line. There's no two ways about it. If we want to be the kind of offensive line that the Cowboys need, these are the kind of games where we need to be the tip of the spear. We need to come out and protect Dak Prescott at times when he has to throw the ball, and then we need to be able to help the Cowboys control this game by helping us run the football and wear down their interior and exterior, especially right now with Jaylen Phillips and Smith coming back. Otherwise, it's going to look pretty ugly with Prescott on the ground, and that's no way to win this game. One of the things I'd really like to see is more 6- and 7-man protections, because Philadelphia's pass rush is really good. Whether that's keeping Javonte Williams in the backfield or keeping a tight end into block, I would love to see more of Brevin Spann forward lined up over Jaylen Phillips, chipping and then maybe releasing into routes. This Philadelphia secondary is very good, but I do trust George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb to get open after a certain amount of time. We saw in Week 1 that CeeDee Lamb had 4 drops and he still had 110 yards. George Pickens didn't have a big game, but he did draw a big pass interference. I know Quinn Mitchell's really good, but we can beat these guys. If we can give Dak an extra half second or full second just to buy some time and let these guys get open, I think they can have big days. George Pickens is really good too, and we shouldn't be afraid to attack their secondary just because they've had some success against other teams. I think this is a good matchup for the Cowboys. I don't think Adoree Jackson is going to glove up our third wide receiver the way he has the last few weeks somehow. There are opportunities for us to make some passes up the seam as well if we want to try to find a way to work Jake Ferguson back in, attacking that way. I don't think we should be afraid. They're going to play a ton of man coverage. That's the kind of thing they're doing a lot more of now. And with our wide receivers, I think it means opportunities, and there's going to be chances that we could have some really big plays here.
This is a big Prescott game, though I think calling it legacy-defining is stupid. Here's what I'm saying about that. Prescott could have 5 touchdowns in each of the next 3 games. We could beat all 3 of these teams, but if the Cowboys go 8-8-1, Nobody's going to care, right? That's why this legacy talk is ridiculous. But Prescott has played really well against divisional opponents. He's played really well against Philadelphia at home. I know Vic Fangio has given him some problems in the past, but man, if we can block it up a little bit, there's going to be open receivers. With the way that Prescott played in the first matchup, where he was just so calm and had Philadelphia on their heels, he's kind of uniquely suited to play well in this game. I honestly expect him to have a big game. Not everyone's able to deal with the heavy pass rush man coverage combo that the Eagles can provide, but the Cowboys are one of the teams that are uniquely able to handle it. And then they obviously switch it up because it's Fangio, so they're going to play shell coverage, cover two. You'll see some quarter stuff. They're going to mix it up. And Prescott is uniquely suited to be one of the guys who can handle the methodical nature that it requires to play a Fangio defense. He understands they're going to play shell, so you're not always going to have the deep shot, but Prescott is the guy that can repetitively march the ball down and win with the short passing game. And then when we get opportunities with man coverage, we have the wide receivers to beat the corners in a way that not every NFL team does. The Cowboys are uniquely suited on offense to actually generate something against this Philadelphia defense. We scored 20 points in week 1 against Philadelphia. We're at home now. We're healthy on the offensive line. Can we get to 24 this week? That's the number I'm circling. If we get to 24, I think we have a really good chance of winning this game outright. I think we can get there. It's going to depend on how we survive the early part of this game and how well we play. If we're able to grab control of this game and get into a positive game script, that's going to certainly help this situation. But if we get behind early and we're having to throw the ball from behind, it's just going to put us in a difficult spot. I still think we can at that point, but it may be one of those things where it's a flurry of points as the Eagles are trying to play prevent defense in the fourth quarter. If the Cowboys are able to maintain balance or at least just be efficient in the run game so that we can keep the Eagles guessing, I think we can score 24 points at home. Philadelphia has allowed 23 or more points only 3 times this year. 26 to the Rams, 25 to the Buccaneers, and then 34 to the Giants in that really weird Thursday night football game. Their defense has been outstanding lately. 9 points to the Lions, 7 points to the Packers. It's going to be a real challenge for us to get to 24, but we have the weapons to do it. We have the quarterback. I can't wait to see what happens. Let me know what you think our chances are in the comments below.